Thank you so much, Skylar. Can you hear me okay? Awesome, awesome. Well, first and foremost, thank you all for being here on Saturday. I know how hard it is when you have so much going on. And you know what? We've been under some stressful times here. So I really appreciate the company having these. I know I look forward to them. I'm like Skylar. I can't wait. The information is valuable. And I'm super thrilled to be presenting today with Sharice and Gabe and Abby. And you know what? The people that they bring on just continually to just blow my mind with all of their knowledge and how much they're willing to help all of us. So I'm so grateful for that. So right away, first and foremost, I want to tell you that I'm a doctor of pharmacy, and my background is extensively in helping to care for people and animals. I love our little furry friends. And what I'm probably best known for is being the backward pharmacist. And that's because my whole passion and purpose has always been about making a difference for people and helping them understand their bodies, helping them educate so they can make better choices. So that's what I want to talk to you today about. As Skylar had said, we have these great promotions going on this month, and the promotions that we have going on have to do with brain focus. And so I thought, what a perfect opportunity for us to talk about that today. So first and foremost, what I want to bring up is the fact that we're talking about flipping the switches. We're talking about flipping the focus switch, okay? We want to be able to turn on our brain to optimize what we're doing. And you know what? Over the last 10 or 12 weeks, that's been so hard. We are all captive to whatever it is that we're being held to right now, be it kids running around the house or being isolated, whatever it is, we're all feeling frustrated. We're all feeling the fact that, you know what, things aren't the way they normally are. And that causes a lot of fatigue in our brain. And so what we want to focus on today is simple and effective ways that are going to help our mental energy and mental health so that we can operate better from our thought processes. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about how they designed the bundles today and how we can biohack our brain. So first and foremost, we have the first package is called the Brain Basics. And basically what that is they've taken the omegas and the NAD. Whoops, I guess I need to turn these around here. I'm not very good technology-wise always. But what we've done is we've combined the omegas along with our NAD synergizer. Now, you know, a lot of us talk a lot of times about activation versus supplementation. Well, with this, we're talking about both because omegas are actually an supplementation. And why do we need omegas? We need omegas for our brain for a few things that are really, really important. Number one, omegas are really, really helpful in protecting our nerves in our brain, right? And oh my gosh, my friend Dr. Brett Grimhall did such a fabulous educational on this not too long ago. And he described it so perfectly when he talked about the wiring in our house. You know how the wiring in our house has insulators around it? And why did the wiring in the house have insulation? Because we don't want the electricity, the sparks, we don't want it going all over the place. So the omegas are an insulator around our nerves. They protect our nerves so that the transmission of the nerve is going to be able to go where it's supposed to go. It's not going to be willy-nilly all over the place. And most importantly, it helps it go faster. And so that's why it's really important to have omegas in our brain. It also takes care of some of the hormones that are instrumental in taking care of our brain tissues and transmitters. So that's the main purpose for the omegas. Now, when we come to the thought process of, okay, well, I'm getting good foods, I eat right or whatever, why do I need to supplement with an omega? And you know what, I get that a lot, especially for people if they say they eat a lot of fish. And those are really important. We do need to get as much as we can through our food sources, of course. But why I love our Omega Plus is because we have a small problem with our diets. We have way too many omega-6s. Omega-6s come in the form of things like vegetable and seed oils, right? How many times do you turn over the foods that you're looking at labels and vegetable oils there? Tons. And so instead of having our perfect balance that we try to achieve, that 1-to-1 ratio of omega-3s and omega-6s, what we're getting is something like 16 to 20 of the 6s to 1 or to the 3. So that ratio just doesn't work. We have enzymes that compete. And when they are doing all that work on the 6s, they can't work on the 3s. So it's really important for us to have a good source for additional omegas. And why I love our Omega Plus is because it does exactly that. It's going to give us our omega-3s in a really good form of DHA and EPA. Now that's, a bunch of letters and numbers and all that kind of thing. But what I want you to understand is it comes from fish that are in the deep, deep sea, in very cold places. The reason that's important is when those fish are down there, when they're producing and making these omegas, guess what? That water is so cold, and what they're producing is able to not solidify. Think about that. They're almost freezing down there, and yet everything's running smoothly. I think that's amazing. So we want to have deep fish, deep sea fish, and that's what we're going to be getting from the Norwegian cod. We also have omega-7s that come from the Alaskan pollock. And why that's important is that helps with signaling. So now what we've done with this component of our basic brain bundle is we are protecting the nerves. We're helping the transmission to be able to go where it's supposed to go. And most importantly, we're also helping with the signaling of it. And we also threw in a little bit of vitamin D, and that's really important right now. A lot of people are deficient in D. So it just gives you that added little extra boost. So that's why I love our Omega Plus. And the second part of the basic bundle is our Protandem NAD Synergizer. And why I love this is the activation portion we're talking about. This is going to activate our bodies so that we're going to be producing more sirtuin proteins. Sirtuins are in our brain cells, they're in all our cells. And the importance of having NAD there in those cells is this is the boss. This is who's going to be putting out that communication and coordinating all the activity that's going on. And don't we want that going on in our brain? I do. I know for sure I do. So these two together really help our brain to function a little bit better. And some of the things that you see for the keys of that is that you're going to be able to have improved focus. One of the things I hear a lot when people start on this NAD is they have laser focus. And that's what we're looking for right now. We've got thoughts going everywhere. You can't make a decision. You've got so much stuff happening. Don't you want to be able to have that focus and to be able to bring it in and to be able to be in the zone? So that's what those two things are going to do. Now, the company is smart, and what they did was they put together the next thing, which is called the Smart Power Bundle. And what they did was they added in the Axio. So these three things are now in that bundle. Why does that matter? Because you know what this is? I love this. This is, I don't even know a better way to describe it than brain performance, okay? We want brain performance. That's what this is, a brain performance product. And what it does is it helps our brain. It's specifically formulated for brain fatigue. Think about that. So the ingredients that are in there are meant to help our brain to not be exhausted. People think they're tired, but it's really their brain that's fatigued. And so what this is doing, it's like going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you go and you build up the muscle, and over time you get stronger and stronger, right? Well, that's what this is going to be doing. It's going to be helping with retention. It's going to be helping you with mental acuity. It's going to be able to help, most importantly, to have resilience to stress. I can't think of something more important than right now, to be able to have your brain have resilience to stress. And so those three things really operate well. And you know what? A lot of people, what are they searching for right now? They're running to the refrigerator and they're getting a Diet Coke or they're getting a Mountain Dew because they need something to help lift them up. They want to lift their mood as well, right? And so what happens is they're adding in caffeine and sugar, and the caffeine component has some really good value. But when you add it with sugar, do you know what happens? You end up having a lift, and then all of a sudden the crash. And it takes more and more of it to get yourself back to that place. What we want to be able to do is be able to see that lift and be able to sustain it for a while. And then slowly over time, it starts to diminish. And that is what we have in mental endurance. So I absolutely love the ability that we have. And with this special, you can pick out which flavor of the Axio that you want. And we have both the caffeinated and decaffeinated forms. So I think that's really valuable to have. And then along with all of those positive things, now we have what's called the Neurohacker Bundle. And that's where we've taken the Axio, we've taken the Omega, we've taken the NAD, and we're adding to it our flagship product, our NRF2 Synergizer. Again, here we have another activator, an activator that's designed to handle oxidative stress. It's designed for the antioxidants in our own body to do the work that they need to do, right? We have the NAD in there that's conducting and coordinating activities, but guess what happens when all that goes on? We start building up trash in those brain cells. And we have to have the ability to get that trash out. That's what the NRF2 is going to be responsible for. It's going to help break down that oxidative stress, the cobwebs that are going on in those cells. And so what you see is the ability as we start aging, that diminishes. And by having NRF2 activation through our Synergizer, you're going to be able to see that restored. You're going to be able to see things like glutathione that are so powerful and impactful to brain health. And that's some of the things that you should take a look at. Go look up what glutathione does for our brain health in all kinds of different things. It's so important. So we want to optimize our own body, activating so that it makes what it needs. And that's what I love about what we're doing. We're activating our own bodies to utilize and make what we need. So now we're going to have what we need to clean out those cells, right? And the thing that's so unique about activation is that you don't have a buildup of things because you're doing it through homeostasis, the balance of the cell. You're having the cell all operate and work together. So when you take a look at this biohacker bundle, we're talking about flipping all kinds of switches, aren't we? We're talking about having the omegas that are going to be in there to help protect those nerves and to transmit faster. We're going to be able to have the NAD in there. The boss man's going to be in there coordinating all the activities that are going to take place, being able to make sure that we're getting rid of things that we don't need and adding in things we do need. That's important. We have to have that communication going on. We're going to also have the ability for endurance. I love this, brain endurance. I don't know who came up with that, but I love that being able to have the brain performance in this little package is huge. And most importantly, taking the NRF2 and having that all pull it together by having a clean house, getting out the cobwebs. So you know what? If you've been at that place where you can't make decisions and you're feeling like, you know what, you're just feeling not very happy and you're feeling frustrated and irritable, what you need to know and understand is this has been put together and designed. And in the process of having all that communication working, it gives us a positive mood and positive motivation. Who doesn't need that right now? We all need that right now, more than ever, probably. So hopefully this has given you some easy ways to be able to explain what we have with our bundles here. And you know what? I want to take it back over to Skylar, but I just want to say happy Father's Day to everyone out there, to all you dads. You're our superheroes. We so appreciate you. And, you know, I kind of feel when I hear this stuff about brain endurance with Axio, I feel like we need to have the Rocky music and, you know, put our arms up in the air for the dads and them being our superheroes. So hopefully that's what is going to be helpful for you today. And thank you, Skylar. Thank you so much for having me.